Hello and welcome to another Doctor Who related video. Yes, in today's Doctor Who related video I'll be following one of the recent trends within the Doctor Who YouTube community, which is basically talking about your favourite item or items within your collection. I was nominated by Harry Williams, so thank you very much for the nomination. So yeah, I think this is a really cool idea because it sort of shows, you know, some of your favourite YouTubers, you know, what their favourite item is within their collection. You know, it could be quite personal or just, you know, very sentimental, that kind of thing. I think it's a very beautiful thing to do and it spreads the love for the show, and I think that that's what we need right now, because right now the fandom's a bit toxic, because if you have an opinion, what people don't agree with, then you're probably going to get slaughtered. So I think that it's important that, you know, we spread the love within the community, and I think this is a great way of doing it. So yes, I think you all know what my favourite item is, so I thought I'd do something a little bit different, because I've talked about that item, what you'll see at the end of the video, which is my favourite. Because I've talked about it quite a lot this year, it feels wrong just to talk about that item. So I'm going to do things a little bit different. So I'm going to include a fair few things, things that are unique to my collection, and you'll understand why, and very personal to me in that way. And some of the merchandise what kicked off this collection. And this is going to sound incredibly cliche, but it was incredibly difficult to pick some of my favourite items within my collection, because I get such a wide variety of things from Big Finish. From figures, which are probably my personal favourite thing to collect out of all the Doctor Who stuff what I get. So yeah, absolutely love these, because these are essentially, this is my childhood. So yeah, this is why I love the figures. DVDs, books. So the way this video is going to work is we'll look at some of my items what kicked off this collection, and then we'll go on to some of the personal items, and then we'll go on to my favourite item, which you probably all know. So yeah, without further ado, let's begin. So what better place to kick off this video with my first bit of Doctor Who merchandise, where it all started. So my first bit of Doctor Who merchandise was the Corgi stuff. Yeah, in particular the Cyberman and the 60s Dalek. Everything else has kind of spawned off from that. So yeah, the Corgi stuff I absolutely love. I've done a video in depth talking about all these various bits of Corgi merchandise, which I really like, because, you know, it was the first bit of Doctor Who merchandise, and they are really great for the scale of them. If a camera will focus, you know, they are absolutely phenomenal for the little, you know, sheer scale what they are there. So if we have a look at the Cyberman, so yeah, this was the first bit of Doctor Who merchandise. It was a twin pack what came with the Dalek, and it was my first proper experience, and this is my first ever Cyberman figurine. I don't know why he's got a spare gun. It just always confuses me, that, but it's just incredibly nice little detailed thing, and just, I absolutely love it. It's a nice little figurine. And the Dalek, he's seen better days. His eye stalker's broken because some dominoes fell on him, because I built a Dalek city out of dominoes, and the dominoes fell on top of him and broke his eye. But it's a damaged Dalek at the end of the day. But yeah, it's got a story behind it, and it's just magnificent. My first ever Dalek within my collection. It is just wonderful. If I just show you a, you know, proper Dalek what's intact, if we just get this standard drone Dalek there, you can see that they are just really incredible. You know, the detail on them is great, and obviously Corgi did a wide variety of stuff, you know, from the Doctor to K9 to, you know, who would have thought we would have a unit helicopter? You know, that's absolutely marvellous just to think that, you know, that's why I love Corgi, because it, you know, because the scale's so small, you get to do some different things. So we've got some vehicles like the unit, Land Rover, Bessie, which always annoyed me, because as the 4th Doctor from season 18, it should have been the 3rd Doctor, but because obviously Tom Baker is the iconic Doctor, and obviously we get various 4th Doctors, you know, the sort of standard 4th Doctor there, and obviously the 4th Doctor peeping outside the TARDIS. But yeah, I absolutely love Corgi, and this is where my whole Doctor Who collection kind of spawned off. Another first within my merchandise collection was this, the Product Enterprise Supreme Dalek from, I guess, Remembrance of the Daleks, even though it doesn't have the orange dome lights. But yeah, I absolutely love this. As you can see, it's missing a few of its bits from its gun. But again, you know, they weren't exactly the most sturdiest things, these Daleks, but I absolutely love this Dalek because it was my first, you know, RC classic Dalek, and obviously I would get the movie Dalek, you know, 2 years later. But yeah, I also got the Assault Dalek remote control, so I had a classic Dalek and a new series Dalek. It was just a fantastic Christmas 2005, and I absolutely cherish that Product Enterprise Dalek, and that sparked my love for Product Enterprise Doctor Who merchandise. So yeah, I've got the Cybermen, the 4th Doctor and K9 now, you know, Davros and some of the Daleks. It's just absolutely wonderful. So I really love early 2000 Doctor Who merchandise with Corgi and Product Enterprise. I've just got a real soft spot for that type of merchandise. So yeah, those are some of the first. So let's go on to the 5-inch figures. So my first ever Doctor Who 5-inch figures was this, the Dalek Battle Pack. I got the Rose version for some weird reason. I should have got the Doctor version, but hey, I got Rose instead. But yeah, I absolutely adored these as a kid, and obviously as you get older you kind of realise their fault, because just looking at these Daleks from the side you can realise how character options got the Daleks wrong, the proportions, you know, the plungers practically the same size as the gun, you know, just the whole skirt section's very chunky. I guess that's down to the electronics. But yeah, as a kid I loved it because you could literally play a game with these, because literally you'd have 2 Daleks fighting each other, so it was very much like the new series does Remembrance of the Daleks. So yeah, that's basically what it was essentially, you know, because I think you'd have 5 lives, so if you got hit 5 times, and after that your Dalek would sort of just make a screaming noise and just die. But yeah, that was essentially it, and it come with a figure. But yeah, obviously it come with either the Doctor or Rose. I got Rose. Obviously the likeness isn't exactly Billie Piper's, and obviously the articulation, there's not much of it, is it? Because literally it's a very much a static thing, so you can only have her in that pose really, or that. That's literally the Rose figure. So if we just move these out the way, so yeah, we'll move on to this, the TARDIS money box. So if I just turn it on, we're going to hear the sound of 2005 right now. Yeah, still got the original battery, so if we open it up, and of course when you open the doors it comes up with a phrase from series 1. So if we close it, get materialization. So this was essentially our only TARDIS for 2 years. This was literally my TARDIS, what I would use when playing with the figures, because it wasn't until 2007 when we actually got a proper TARDIS where you could put your figures in and, you know, have them go inside the TARDIS. You know, it always confused me with the doors, but they would always open like that. It's the same with the TARDIS playset actually. But yeah, the detail, you know, it's still got the wood grain detailing very faintly on it. I mean, the camera's not exactly picking up, but it does have a little bit of wood grain detailing. But as a kid, you know, it sufficed. It did its job. It was a TARDIS, and you could have adventures with it with your Doctor and companion and face many adventures. So yeah, this was the TARDIS back in the day until the lovely flight control TARDIS replaced it. But yeah, fond memories of this TARDIS, and I absolutely love it. So let's move on to the more sentimental personal items. So the next items, this is where it gets a bit personal, because you might be wondering why are you showing us a folder. Well, this folder literally has my Doctor Who journey as a fan, because it literally contains when I go to conventions. It's got autographs, photo shoots, and various convention leaflets and whatever inside this. So this is literally telling my journey of being a fan, going to conventions, and of course the vault I've got signed. So if we open up this folder, you know, this folder is essentially my life, you know, documenting my journey of being a fan, you know, doing conventions, you know, meeting the Doctor actors, you know, Peter Capaldi, Pearl Mackie, you know. I will do an updated autograph collection, you know, David Bradley, you know, Christopher Eccleston, a person I never thought I would meet, my first Doctor, and there he is. I got to speak to him and have a photo with him, you know. It's just incredible, you know. Matt Smith, David Warner, you know, Lisa Bauman, you know. This folder, like I say, is essentially my journey of being a fan, you know, throughout the years really. So it's just absolutely incredible that I've been able to meet these people, you know. It's amazing, and this is what I mean, it's very personal, but because this is literally my journey, you know. No journey of being a fan is the same. I'm just going to let you enjoy just looking at the photos now, because yeah, this is literally my journey, and you know, showing you the various people what I've met over the course of the time I've been doing you know, conventions, you know. So yeah, it's absolutely wonderful. Then you've got my sort of Doctor Who pop art thing, what I did back in school, you know, and sort of like this is what I mean, you know, showing the various conventions what I've been to, you know, little things like this, a cinema ticket to see the Day of the Doctor, you know, on the actual anniversary. You know, that was an absolutely incredible experience to experience that live with other Doctor Who fans in a cinema. and just hearing the reactions between the big moments and twists within the episode. Then you've got the good old Doctor experience, and then we have the proms programs for the 50th anniversary, which was an amazing experience to see the proms live. Absolutely incredible. And then we have my first ever Doctor Who convention now, which was back in the Red Dragon Centre. So yeah, one of the things I absolutely treasure going to the Doctor Who exhibition in the Red Dragon Centre in Cardiff Bay. So yeah, that's absolutely wonderful. Like, you know, from the outside, you know, this is just your standard folder, but inside here, you know, I absolutely treasure these, because to anybody else, these are nothing, but these are absolutely priceless, because these are my memories. You know, these are me meeting Doctor Who legends, Doctor Who stars. You know, this is my proof of existence of meeting these people. And, you know, such lovely memories, because those are things what people can't take away. People can't take away memories away from you. So that's incredible, you know, that you're always going to have these memories of meeting those people. So when you look at this folder in years to come, or you look at your autographs and photos in years to come, that you'll have a smile on your face, and you'll reminisce of those at that convention, or what it was like meeting that person. And this is why it's incredibly special, this folder in particular, because it literally documents my journey of being a Doctor Who fan, from conventions to meeting the actual Doctor Who stars themselves. So this is why I love this, and this is what I mean that it's personal, because it is literally me. This folder is me. So the next item I'm going to show you is very much a one-of-a-kind, unique and personal to me. And you might be wondering, where is it? Well, it's right behind me. These TARDIS cupboards, yes. I've never done a video talking about these, because I've never really had the opportunity to do it. And I feel like because we're talking about items within your collection, then this is one big item, and is literally the heart, the sort of body of the collection, I guess, because it is the thing what protects the collection, you know. For years, I have been wanting glass cabinets to display my figures as a kid. You know, I used to have them in boxes, because I literally had no place to put them. I had no shelves, nothing like that. And for years I pestered my parents going, can I have some glass cabinets to display my figures? Because, you know, people know that you have a lot of Doctor Who stuff, you know, when they come around and they're, oh yeah, you've got a lot of Doctor Who stuff. But it's not until you actually have it all on display when you realise the sheer scale of Doctor Who stuff what you have. And it's only been fairly recently, because these cupboards are about 6 years old. And, you know, I feel like I definitely got the better deal than a glass cabinet. So yeah, these are literally handmade by my dad. It was literally 3 white doors, what my dad's friend gave him, and he painted them blue. Obviously it's not screen accurate, it's not meant to be based off any particular TARDIS. You know, you can tell what it is, you can tell it is definitely a TARDIS. You know, the door sign is from the BBC shop when that was a thing, what existed, and obviously the frame was painted blue. We've got some blue LEDs going on there, and it looks rather nice at night, just in the dark, and you've just got that lit. It's just absolutely beautiful. And obviously glass cabinets, you know, they don't really protect your collection from the sunlight, and, you know, especially with figures, because over time things get dull and faded from the sunlight. I don't have to worry about that, because I just literally shut these doors and the figures are protected. And when I have people over to sort of, you know, see the collection, it's kind of a thing what I've become very accustomed to. You know, I literally see this every day, so there's no wow factor to it. But when I get, you know, people coming into the room and they haven't seen it before, you know, they think, oh, that's really cool, you've got a TARDIS. And then I open the doors and they're just like, whoa, that's a lot of stuff. You know, to me, you know, that's every day, you know, and it kind of takes you back going, yeah, I do have quite a lot of Doctor Who stuff. But yeah, I absolutely love these cupboards. You know, we've got the figures in these 2 sections, well, in these 2 doors here. Then we've got DVDs, books, and other things there, really. So yeah, I absolutely love this. You know, I've got to say a big thank you to my dad. I think it took about 3 weekends to do, because I literally had to redo all my room, repaint my room, and obviously make this, which I absolutely love. You know, this, the top bit, you know, that was all done with stencil. You know, so this is very unique to my collection. Obviously, we've got, you know, silver sort of handles there, you know, just to give the illusion. You know, that handle doesn't work. It's literally these 2, and that one will work. But yeah, I finally got to have an opportunity to talk to you about this. But yeah, I absolutely love this. I think it's a really cool way of displaying your stuff. And yeah, I've had this for 6 years, and so right on to the last thing what I'm going to show you. You all know what it is, so there's no point really building it up, but it's wrong to say that this is my favourite, because, you know, I love every bit of Doctor Who merchandise what I have. You know, I'd happily do a video on each individual thing and tell you the story, but this is the most special thing, and that is moon boots and dinner suits. I've talked about this a hell of a lot over the years. I've had this since like 2016, and it's the thing I treasure the most. It is the thing I absolutely adore. You know, the book itself, you know, I absolutely love. It's a great read, but it's the actual content inside and the story, what goes with it, what just makes it seem really weird and bizarre, and just makes me quite happy thinking about it. It's just a very strange thing. So yeah, I went to a convention called Unit Day back in March 2016. Which is obviously basically a celebration of the Third Doctor. It basically had all the Third Doctor people from Unit there, you know, Joe, Richard Franklin, John Levine, Terrence Dix, you know, that kind of thing, Derek Sherwin. So it was basically a celebration of Unit, but you might as well say the Third Doctor. So I had a great time meeting up with friends there, you know, Adam the Ultimate Whovian, Geeks Handbag, and Scaramondas Productions. So that was a lovely day. The day after, you know, I thought, you know what, I've got some birthday money to spend, you know, so I thought, you know what, I'll go on eBay. And, you know, I typed in moon boots and dinner suits, and I found this for £8. And bearing in mind the seller didn't list that it come with anything, it was just, you're just getting the book. But yeah, it took a couple of days to arrive, as it does, because hey, post. So when it arrived, I obviously opened it up and had a flick through, and then I saw some things drop out of the book. And I thought, oh, hang on, that's a bit unexpected. So when I picked these up, and I'll show you these things now, I was just in absolute shock, just going, wow, that's really bizarre. The first thing it came with was this, the place where the person who originally bought this book got it from. So there we go, 25th of October 1984, moon boots and dinner suits. So the next thing this book came with, I guess it's a review of the book, as you can see, Moon Boots and Dinner Suits by John Pertwee. And yeah, I do think it is a bit of a review of the book and a bit of write-up about it. But yeah, that's quite a weird thing to conclude. But the last thing I'm going to show you is probably the most special, and the last thing what fell out of the book, and this is the thing what actually spooked me a bit, and it kind of creeped me out a little bit, and I thought, you know what, that's really bizarre. So there we have it. It is the John Pertwee Memorial service, you know, a service of thanksgiving for the life and work of John Devon Rowland Pertwee, and it's bizarrely signed by Caroline John. It's a weird thing, why would you get that signed? But there we go, and there we got the date there. But yeah, this is legit. You know, it's on proper watermark paper there. You can see all the stuff what's inside it, and you know, obviously I've done a whole video dedicated on the Third Doctor and John Pertwee as a whole. You know, and obviously if you watch that right to the end, you'll understand how much this means to me, and how much, you know, the Third Doctor and John Pertwee means to me, because he has helped me, you know, through some of the darkest times. You know, he's very much been that beacon of hope for me. So obviously I'm a massive Third Doctor fan, and to have this, I kind of took it as a bit of a sign, really, of John just going, thanks kid for all the support and love you've given me. And you know, I've ended up with this incredibly unique item. And you know, I think if you want to know the full reason of why this thing is so special, check out my Why I Love John Pertwee, and then I think you'll get the full grasp, or watch the whole video of why this thing is my favourite thing out of everything I have, because it's incredibly special. And when I was reading it, and I, you know, was reading some of the early chapters of the book, you know, it was very similar to some of my childhood things, what I would do. You know, so I found that kind of creepy in a way. You know, so yeah, I honestly think that this is my favourite item. It's just incredibly special, and you know, everybody else will have moon boots and dinner suits, but nobody else, what I know of, has the John Pertwee, you know, service of memorial. You know, so this is why it's incredibly special, because John is my Doctor, and you know, my role model. So it is incredible to have something so there special. We have it. Moon boots and dinner suits is my favourite item out of all my collection here. I hope that you've enjoyed it, because I've done something a little bit different, you know, showing some of the items what kicked off this collection in a way, and obviously, you know, looking at some of the more personal items what are unique to my collection. And moon boots and dinner suits, you know, if you want to know the full story and the full reasoning why this is such a big thing, then like I say, check out my Why I Love John Pertwee video, which I will leave a link in the description below so you can check that video out. So that's been my turn, that's been my most prized possession within my collection, so it's time to nominate some people. So I'm going to nominate 3 people. I'm going to nominate JArkhamReviews, I'm going to nominate AdamTheUltimateWhovian, and I'm going to nominate Terrileptil. So yeah, get cracking. I look forward to seeing what your most prized possessions are within your collection, or most prized possession. So yeah, thanks very much, and yeah, bye bye.